If your e-commerce brand is not destroying your competitors with Google Shopping ads, they're probably destroying your brand. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to destroy your competitors 9 out of 10 times and completely eradicate them so your e-commerce brand scales to multi-6 and multi-7 figures with Google Shopping alone. Now, this is the same strategy I've been able to use across brands like these ones where we're spending $180, almost $200,000 a month to generate back $1.8 million to $2 million a month in revenue at a 10x ROAS. It's all because of the right Google Shopping ad strategy. Now, there's actually 3 different ways to beat your competitors, and we're gonna go over each one of those ways and a few examples to go over each in detail. But the strategies based on these 3 ways is all different. But one thing that is not different is that all 3 of these strategies work off of perceived value of your product. Now, a little bit of a background into what perceived value means. Essentially, perceived value is what your customer or what a potential user thinks your product or your product listing is worth. What I mean by that is if you search up for a very random product, maybe for a water bottle, and you see a water bottle coming up that's with a plain white background, it's look very dirty looking, it doesn't look too professional, the Google Merchant Center reviews are essentially non-existent, product titles are very messy, then obviously you're not going to think of that product listing itself as something with very high value. Instead, you might label it as a low perceived value product, and keeping that kind of fundamental topic in mind, we approach this Google ad strategy. Now, the first strategy, the first method of blowing your competitors out the water is basically beating them based on the product images. And I have the perfect example for this. When I search up the keyword 16-ounce plastic bottle and we look at shopping ads, we see a few different shopping ads coming up. However, if you're like most normal people, there's only one shopping ad which kind of jumped out to you right off the bat, and it's the second one right here. Not the first one, not the third one, it's the second one. And it's very obvious why that happened. When we look at this product listing as a whole, we are just taken away by the overall bold approach this product listing and this brand has implemented. Instead of doing what 99% of their competitors did, it's like a sheep mentality where they just kind of followed each other. They did exactly what's kind of legal and what's the right way to do it according to them. And what they did is they had a very simple plastic bottle with a plain white background. There was nothing extra they did. There was nothing unique they did. However, brand number 2 came in, and it doesn't matter what their product pricing is, if they have reviews or not, their titles. That's the second thing people look at. The first thing they look at is the image, and this right off the bat, without even looking at anything else, captured your attention. This is what captures 99% of people's attention out there as well. And what they did is nothing unique. They just had this plastic bottle, they filled it with an orange liquid to make it stand out, and they placed it on a normal wooden table. That's it. They did not spend thousands of dollars for some unique photography or some unique kind of background. It's a simple background. Maybe somebody did it in their home, maybe somebody did it in their office, doesn't matter. It's simple, but yet it's able to capture your attention, and that's exactly why they're able to sell the simple plastic bottle for $70 a piece, because the perceived value from this image, it's there. It makes you want to pay $70 for this simple product, and that's the easiest way to stand out from competitors. Just do the opposite of what your competitors are doing. This can be done in a variety of different ways. For example, if we just type in the keyword window frame, or for example, and let's just change this to window drapes so that shopping ads actually come up, we can see that there's maybe some niches out there where it might seem a bit more competitive to do things like these, where you don't want to do a lifestyle background image because everybody here, that's what they have done. So there's no way for you to stand out. But that's the beauty of this, because what we see here is every one of these competitors has done a lifestyle image where the window drape is on a window itself in a real lifestyle background. You don't want to follow the sheep mentality. That's literally all you have to do to follow this first strategy. Just do the opposite of your competitors. If everybody else is doing lifestyle background, you put the window drape on a white background, a simple plain white background, and that should do the trick. It's as simple as that. But that's only the first approach. We have 2 more strategies to go over. Let's now move on to the second strategy, which is beating your competitors based on product titles. And perfect example for this with the keyword 3D printer. If we look at this, what we see is majority of these brands have these very basic, very small product titles, and the product images, I mean, some of them are unique, some of them are on a lifestyle background, but that's besides the point, because we don't want to really compete on the product image here. Of course you should, but let's just say we're not doing that. Let's say we're implementing the second approach, which is product title strategy. Now here, if we look at these product titles, again, we see very basic ones, but there's a few brands which go a little bit above and beyond. Like for example, Bamboo Lab US. This product title, it's a bit bigger than the other ones. Now, I'm not saying this is the best one in the world. However, it is bigger, and whenever it's bigger, as you can see, this is taking up more space. When it's taking up more space, when there's more room for your ad, well, now more users will be able to kind of locate your ad, more users will be able to interact with it, because that's the first thing that they see right off the bat instead of these smaller product titles. And it's about taking up space, it's about taking up room with Google Shopping Ad if you really want to scale. Even brands like these ones right here, even though they're not on the first page, like Amazon, Walmart, they're still doing a good job. Their product titles are on point, and maybe they're not ranking in the front because of a bad ad strategy. Maybe their product images blending in like sheep mentality, etc. That's besides the point. But the product title is where you should be standing out as well. That's a very simple way of working with the algorithm. These 2 methods already are some of the methods we use to scale the brands I showed in the beginning of this video to multi-6, multi-7 figures a month in revenue, which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $1 million a year and you want to scale to multi-7 figures with Google Ads per year, go on to my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see essentially how we can work together to make that happen. But now let's move on to the third and final approach of throwing your competitors out the water, and this is by implementing Google Merchant Center programs and reviews. Now, the first easiest method to kind of stand out is by having reviews. As we can see, Wayfair here for this keyword, a wooden basket chair, already stands out because majority of these other competitors don't have reviews. The ones that do are all the way in the end of the second kind of page. But that's the first way to stand out. Just have reviews. If everybody has reviews, then again, you don't necessarily want to have reviews because you want to do the opposite of your competitors. But that's not the only way within the Google Merchant Center. If you notice, a lot of these product listing pricings, they're the color green, where the other ones, they're just the color black. And this is because they have put up some sale within their back end. This is the perfect way to stand out. By just adding this little sale, now you make your product pricing the color green. And of course, you only want to do this if majority of your competitors have not done it. As we can see, it's starting to get a bit overused here. So I would actually go against the grain and maybe just not even do this at all. Or maybe other things like when the product gets shipped, the return times, unique return times. Just be unique. It's not about being the same as everybody else. It's about not following the sheep mentality and going against the grain. But again, these 3 methods, if you just use these together, or even if you use this individually, I guarantee you're going to start to see a lot of differences within your Google Shopping results. And I know this because we have scaled 439 brands in the past 5 years using methods like this, which again, if you run a brand doing $1 million a year and you want to scale to multi-7 figures with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see essentially how we can work together and make that happen. But check out this video right here on a recent case study I just released on a brand that I just covered in this video, which did 1.8 million a month in revenue from Google.